Hey, what's up you guys? It's Sienna, your resident curly girl, and today we're going to be talking about my 5 tips and tricks for when you're starting out with the curly girl method. And today we're going to be talking about my 5 tips and tricks for when you're starting out with the curly girl method. Now, for those of you who do not know what the curly girl method was invented by Lorraine Massey. She is also the founder of the Diva Curl Divachan salons and the Diva Curl brand. And it is outlined in the book The Curly Girl Method by Lorraine Massey. The curly girl method is all about learning to stop damaging The curly girl method is all about learning to stop damaging hair habits like heat styling and using chemicals in your hair, and instead replacing those bad habits and instead choosing to be more conscious of how you treat your hair. Now, the first step that you should be taking is reading the Curly Girl Handbook. Although you may not want to read it, although it may seem like a lot and it might seem annoying to you, this is obviously the best place for you to start. Unfortunately, this book will not give you an instant, infinite knowledge of hair and how it works, nor will it give you an infinite knowledge of your hair and how your hair works. But this will definitely give you a starting point to learn about some of the mistakes that you may have been making with your hair, understanding how your curly hair works a lot better than you have before. For instance, this book provides insights to frizz, how it works and what it is, the products that you're using and what ingredients you should be looking out for, as well as hair types and what all of the curly terms mean. It basically gives you a basic outline it gives you a basic guideline for how you should be taking care of your hair, and it answers a lot of questions for people starting their curly hair journey. Regardless of what you take away from it, this book is a great starting place for you. Alright, now tip number 2 that I have is using Curly Girl Method friendly products. Now, if you have read the book or if you haven't read the book, it outlines the certain products that you should be using. Obviously, because she's the founder of the Diva Curl brand, Lorraine Massey is going to recommend Diva Curl products. But if you look online, there are a bunch of blogs and videos about it. There are a lot of cheaper alternatives that you can find in a drugstore that will be great for your hair. The basics that you want to look out for are products with sulfates and silicones in them. Sulfates and silicones are very harmful for your hair. I have a couple videos on it. I have one specifically just for silicones and why it's bad. But sulfates are harsh chemicals that will strip your hair of moisture and nutrients that your hair needs to be healthy and beautiful. And silicones will not only weigh down your curls, but they will also coat your hair strand in an almost impenetrable plastic, making it hard for any moisture or nutrients to get into your hair shaft. So if you want moisturized, frizz-free, defined curls, looking for the right products is definitely the right place to start. Now the third tip that I have is experimenting with different techniques and products. When starting your curly hair journey, any information that you can find is great. I read a bunch of books, I watched a bunch of videos, I read a bunch of blogs, anything that I could get my hands on, I read, watched, listened. I just wanted to learn everything that I could about my hair because I had gone so long without knowing what the heck to do. Anybody that I went up to was like, why don't you just straighten it? Like, why don't you just straighten it? Have you tried straightening it? Like, no, I don't want to straighten my hair. I want it to be curly. And after reading all these books and watching all these videos, I realized that what people recommend to me was not the best thing. Nobody knows how to care for curly hair except for the curly hair community, and that's why it's such a beautiful place, because people are all over in this community are accepting their hair and accepting themselves, and they want to help other people, which is beautiful and amazing. So, like I said, I read a lot of books and I watched a lot of videos. I took everything that I read, everything that I watched, and I experimented with my hair. If I watched a tutorial on somebody's everyday curly hair routine, I would find similar products or try their methods with the products that I already had, and I would see how that worked. I tried a lot of different methods like scrunching, raking and shaking, plops, blow drying. I tried everything, and I wanted to learn what was good for my hair. Now I know that all of the videos and all the information out there can seem very daunting at first. But you have to understand that there are a lot of different curly hair types, and that's why there's so many videos and so much information. What I recommend, it's kind of like a little trick, is find a beauty guru that has hair like yours and watch their videos and listen to what they have to say and copy them. If they have the same kind of looking hair as you do, then look at what products they recommend, what works great for them, and how they care for their hair. Try and see what works for you. Some techniques and products may not work while others do, but you don't know until you try. And the more you try, the more familiar you become with your hair, the more familiar you become with your hair, the more you start to understand what your hair needs. And the better off you'll be. And like I said before, when in doubt, look for somebody who has similar hair to you and copy what they say. Now, the fourth tip that I have for you guys is learning to listen to your hair. Now this step takes time. Early on in your transition process, early on in when you're trying to learn how to take care of your hair, this may seem impossible. It may seem super daunting and just you don't even know. But eventually, you'll be able to do it. Like I said before, the more you try, the more you experiment, the more familiar you become with your hair, the easier it is to discover what it needs. Early on in your journey, experiment with different products and techniques. I do not recommend experimenting with protein treatments until you definitely get a very good understanding of how your hair works and what it needs. But start with Curly Girl products. Start by finding a beauty guru that has hair like yours and experimenting with their products and the techniques that they use. Definitely try weekly deep conditioning treatments. And eventually, you will learn when your hair is giving you signs, when your hair is telling you that it needs moisture or that it needs protein or that it needs to be cleansed. Your hair will give you signs, and the more you learn about your hair, the more you listen to your hair, the more you experiment, the easier it will be for you to be able to interpret those signs. And last but not least, my fifth and final tip is time and consistency. As difficult as it may be to hear, the Curly Girl method is not an overnight solution. The Curly Girl method, as difficult as it may be to hear, the Curly Girl method is not an overnight solution. It is not a quick fix. Using this method will gradually improve your hair, but don't forget all of those years of bad products, of sulfates, of silicones, of chemicals, of product damage, of heat damage. All of that is still on your hair. So your hair needs time. Your hair needs time to heal. So using the Curly Girl method and using these products, not using heat, that's all really good, and that will definitely help your hair heal a lot faster. Just like if you never exercise and you eat junk food every day, stopping eating junk food and starting to go to the gym will help you get healthier. But it takes time. Going to the gym once isn't going to make you skinny, and doing the Curly Girl method once will not help your will not fix your hair. It takes time and practice and consistency. There may be times when you get wash day results. There may be times when you get wash day results that you don't like, or you use a treatment that you feel isn't working. And there may be times when you feel like nothing is going right and this method just isn't worth the effort, but trust me, it is. Don't listen to that voice in your head telling you to quit. Instead, keep going. It may not be the easiest thing, but trust me, it'll be worth it. Alright, so those are the 5 tips and tricks I have for the curly girl method if you're just getting started, or if you're just getting started on learning to embrace and love your hair. If you do like my channel, if you do like what I have to say, if you want to learn more about curly hair, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell to get updates on when I upload a new video. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or just want to chat, the comments down below are always open. Make sure to go down there and check it out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!